Joyful adventure audits, come join the ride. Joyful adventure.
Hey there, adventurers. Welcome back to Joyful Adventure Audits. It's Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025, and I'm here in Birmingham, where the bin strike saga continues. Yes, many piles of black bags have been collected, but because we now have, or did have, a weekly bin collection, the rubbish is being replaced week on week. Cleanups have happened, but by the time they finish clearing one area, we need to start all over again. The bin workers are still on strike after rejecting the council's offer. Today I've spotted something interesting: 4 bin trucks sitting in Manningford Hall car park. Residents are dragging their wheelie bins there to be emptied, but I have to ask, isn't this terrible planning? 4 trucks in one location? Why not have 4 separate collection points across the city? Or better yet, why not go around collecting the rubbish? Is that concept too simple for council planners? What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. The bin strikes have made headlines across the country. Sky News reported just 2 days ago how residents are taking matters into their own hands to avoid drowning in rubbish. 6 weeks into the strike, bins are overflowing and rubbish is littered across pavements, despite the council claiming they've cleared more than 20,000 tonnes over the Easter weekend. The dispute began in January, when bin workers started one day walkouts after learning some workers would be downgraded and have their pay cut. By March 11th, more than 300 workers began an all-out strike. According to Unite, around 150 of their members face pay cuts of up to $8,000 a year under the council's offer. However, the council claims only 17 workers will be affected and will lose far less than Unite is claiming. What's fascinating and troubling is how this strike affects different parts of Birmingham differently. The BBC reported a stark contrast. While streets in Balsall Heath were being overwhelmed with rubbish so thick it was hard to walk down the street, just a few miles away in wealthy Harbin, wheelie bins stood neatly waiting for collection with no sign of additional waste. Many residents believe there's a 2-tier waste collection system in operation, with poorer areas suffering the most. As one resident put it, "It's very obvious, really. Piles of rubbish, mountains of rubbish really in streets in inner-city Birmingham. And then there are the rats. Nearly everyone has their own rat story." One resident famously told BBC News, "There were rats the size of cats roaming the streets," a phrase that's now haunting Birmingham's reputation. As if the current situation wasn't challenging enough, Birmingham City Council is introducing fortnightly household waste collections. This month, they're phasing in the change across different neighbourhoods, while simultaneously introducing weekly food waste collections and a second recycling bin for paper and cardboard. The council claims this will improve efficiency and help meet recycling targets, but opposition councillors have called for the introduction to be halted until next year. They argue that switching to fortnightly collections mid-strike feels like piling one uncertainty atop another. And adding to the city's woes, I've spotted travellers and caravans on Druids Heath Park. Will this create yet another clean-up challenge? When they eventually move on, so what's the solution here? The council says they've made a fair and reasonable offer to Unite, while the union maintains that the council is forcing dedicated workers onto pay levels barely above the minimum wage. Meanwhile, residents are caught in the middle, living with the consequences of this standoff. Some residents have voiced support for the bin workers. No one wants to live next to a mound full of dirty rubbish and rotten food. But how would you react if your company says to you, "By the way, you're going to lose £8,000 a year"? What do you think about this situation? Should the council cave to the union's demands? Should the workers accept a pay cut? Or is there a middle ground we're not seeing? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're in Birmingham, stay strong, keep your sense of humour, and maybe invest in some air freshener. That's all for today's Joyful Adventure Audit. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Until next time.
Trash piles high on every street. A city's rhythm skipped its beat. Rats parade in the pale moonlight. Birmingham's woes in plain sight. Trash to the right, trash to the left. A city feeling so bereft. 6 weeks gone blues and streets askew. Rats are kings where shadows creep, dancing nightly while we sleep. They grow as big as alley cats, taking over like aristocrats. Trash to the right, trash to the left, a city feeling so bereft. 6 weeks gone, still no clue. Bin strike blues and streets askew. Council plans a fortnightly treat, but can't tackle this odorous feat. The stench of streets speaks of despair. Birmingham gasps for some fresh air.
Whoa, that's the size of cats in the shadow of despair. Trash rises high in the cold city air. Neighbors square up with their trash bag shields, fighting for the space where the garbage yields. Birmingham's bleeding, the streets are alive. A battleground formed where the waste piles thrive. Army boots stop in the muck below, but the rats hold council in the night's eerie glow. Birmingham's bleeding, the streets are alive. A battleground formed where the waste piles thrive. Army boots stop in the muck below, but the rats hold council in the night's eerie glow. Then strike while the city screams out loud. Garbage mountain kings with their cardboard crowd fight for the streets where rubbish takes the stage. Welcome to the chaos fueled by trash rage. Council plays chess while the people throw hands. Grimy revolution sweeps through the land. The stench of dissent clouds the urban spire, where the fire of justice feeds the trash fire. Calling all heroes wheeling bin bags high. Sanitation soldiers hear the city's cry. In a game of rough refuse we can't seem to win. The rats and the people battle for the bin. Bin strike while the city screams out loud. Garbage mountain kings with their cardboard crowd fight for the streets where rubbish takes the stage. Welcome to the chaos fueled by trash rage. Council plays chess while the people throw hands. Grimy revolution sweeps through the land. The stench of dissent climbs the urban spire, where the fire of justice feeds the trash fire. Calling all heroes wielding bin bags high. Sanitation soldiers hear the city's cry. In a game of rough refuse we can't seem to win. The rats and the people battle for